If human beings have a purpose here on this earth, and I'd like to believe that they do, what is it? And what's more important, the purpose of humanity as a whole or as individuals? When I ask myself, what is my personal purpose in life? Well, before I get to my job or anything like that, I might actually start with something basic, like survival. And when you start there, you see that there's actually a lot of purpose to be found in the pursuit of basic survival. Because, well, we know we've got to eat. That's a purpose right there. And eating is more than just eating because it gives you other purposes like cooking or hunting or shopping if you're a modern human being like myself. And once that first level of purpose, survival, is secure, you begin to look for more purpose. A second, higher level of purpose, and we find it almost immediately. This second level of purpose is conversation. So as we eat, we talk with someone. Does it matter what we're talking about? No, because the purpose you're searching for is a simple connection. It could be the dumbest conversation you could imagine. It could be the kind of conversation dogs would have. It doesn't matter what the connection is about as long as it's there. And maybe that's enough purpose for an individual. But what about the even higher levels of purpose? What about our purpose as a group? Noted astrophysicist and regular Tonight Show guest Carl Sagan has thought deeply about this subject for many years, and he said, quote, "The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself." End quote. That's a pretty good purpose, right? Well, another noted thought leader, LP from Run the Jewels, has a different view on his purpose when he said, quote, "My business card says you're in luck. I do two things. I rap and fuck." End quote. Is that any less valid of a life purpose than what Carl Sagan had said? Well, Circle Master, who got to level 99 before reaching the Sector 1 reactor, says almost in response to all of them, quote, "Life does not have inherent meaning. To say that our lives are pointless and our achievements meaningless is to state the obvious. No matter how grand our achievements or how broad their scope, time turns all to dust and death destroys all memory. It is because nothing has meaning unto itself that we are free to create meaning, to make metaphor, and in so doing reflect on ourselves and our world." End quote. But what if we take a step back and look at all of those stated purposes as a whole? What if they're all right? What if the purpose of humanity as a group is to do all of those things? And maybe that's the purpose we should strive for. And maybe, just maybe, we achieve that goal by doing whatever it is we're already doing. Because at the base of it, our needs are just to eat a meal and talk about anything with someone. Because mostly what our purpose here on Earth is to hang out.
I don't know, I mean, you guys watched Tremors 6, A Cold Day in Hell.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who's watching that.
Dunstan checks in.
Well, I know who's watching Dunstan Checks In. Yeah, I love that you have, like, nothing but positive things to say about that.
I don't know how you could say anything negative about it. Really, it seems...
I gotta rewatch it.
It seems difficult to me to hate on it. I mean, it really nails everything it sets out to do.
Yeah.
It sets out to do some very bold things.
Like, have a monkey steal a jewel. Welcome to No One Can Know About This, a podcast where we play every Final Fantasy. I'm Jeff Ekman.
And I'm Ryan Kazmiski.
And here we go, Season 4, Episode 11.
Is this the Sloppy Joe-isode?
Yeah, this one's a little bit weird.
For those who don't know, a Sloppy Joe is... Haley, not now. For those who don't know, a Sloppy Joe is a type of sandwich.
It's like a meat sludge.
It's a hamburger bun sandwich.
Right.
And instead of a hamburger, what you do is you brown hamburger meat, mixing in ketchup and sugar and all kinds of stuff for hours and hours and hours until you got a nice hearty sludge. It's not quite a chili.
We're telling you this because this episode, we take a break and we make Sloppy Joes. And that's what happens in this episode.
Yeah.
So settle in and have lunch with us as we talk about the game so far.
This is why you're here, right?
This is in a bunch of stupid nonsense.
Yeah, that's That's what happens this episode. I don't remember the exact recipe we used.
Well, without any further ado, let's get to cooking.
2 chopped stalks of celery and toss.
Not bad.
I'm gonna make a cabbage something with cucumbers, maybe.
In the coleslaw.
White vinegar.
Check.
Cold sloppy joes.
Okay.
1 tablespoon of salt.
So far, so good. Don't throw me any curveballs.
1 tablespoon of dry mustard.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. Wait, they might have that. Do you think there was ever a dish named, like, Tidy Joe's? Where it was like, it's just a burger maybe? It's like, it's the meat, but it's not so sloppy.
You know what? I'm just gonna say I've never heard of that, no.
Yeah, okay. Just thinking about this game versus FF6. And obviously, we haven't even played this game even a little
Yeah,
bit
no,
yet.
we're not even...
So like, as far as
It's hard to
comparing
even
them
compare at this stage.
is not a thing.
There's definitely stuff that's different.
Well, what I think I can say is that off of the first 15 hours,
Uh-huh. Yeah, we haven't played enough to really say anything about this game.
I don't know that I could in good conscience, if somebody were to say, I've never played a Final Fantasy before,
Oh, I wouldn't start them here. This
I would
is like
ne- I-
advanced
it's too...
immediately.
And it's also like, I would say go play FF6. Like, you could do that right now and it would still be fun. This is so hard to look at from the start. And then also there's like so many obtuse things.
Yeah.
And the thing about the artwork is like, right now there's a resurgence of retro style games.
Uh-huh.
How many of them look like the PlayStation 1?
Like none of them.
Literally none.
I wouldn't not recommend it just based on the art. I would
Oh,
be
me?
like, this thing is like,
I'm like-
super fucking long and like like
To me, it's more these like moments of like, wait, now I gotta open a chest and put
Yeah.
a thing in it. Like, what was that pachinko machine thing?
we still don't know.
So right now, Ryan's getting all the pots out that he needs in order to brown the beef.
Yeah, what you're gonna, that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna pour the beef into the pot and you're gonna stir.
That's
for
how
the
it
next
starts?
several hours.
Like, what if instead of up and down, up was diagonal, but not always the same direction?
Well, that's the thing, is like, if you
Some-
played this, see, if I told someone to play this again and they got the PS4 version, like, the joysticks work. You can run
Right,
around using
right.
the joystick.
Right. I just think 6 is easier
I
to
think
get
this
into.
game is where we're going to start getting into the interesting debate of which game is better, because
Right.
this one is so fucking
Different.
different.
Yeah.
Like, I already feel like my personal opinion is like, this is activating parts of my brain in a way that I'm like, we could play this forever.
Yeah, okay. I feel like this game is filled with stoplights.
Yeah. How the fuck do we make sloppy joes?
Oh, that's a good question. I know there's some simple recipes out there. Fuck. Do we need like a can of tomatoes?
I'm just gonna see like in general what they are, and I'm sure we can put something together with what we've got. You know what I mean?
I think super simple is just like some brown sugar, some ketchup.
I would say like brown sugar, ketchup. I'll toss some bacon fat in there.
Now, this is something I want to try that could only work if you had a group of people, none of whom were particularly culinarily skilled, which
Okay,
is
yeah.
recipe by committee. Like, we
my
would show up
God.
with like 4 or 5 of us, and I would say meatloaf, or meatloaf. What do you think is in it? How do we do it? And
I
then
think there's onions in it,
Yeah,
and I think
onions,
there's maybe peppers.
breadcrumbs sometimes.
Breadcrumbs are definitely in it.
Right,
Okay,
and
yes.
so we would all kind of vote on our memory of what the dish is, and
hope that
then
it comes out.
make it.
Yeah, this is an American dish.
Oh yeah. But you've never had American chop suey, which I think is not American, but literally only from New Hampshire.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's like bad macaroni. I should probably come in here and just say real quick, American chop suey isn't intended to taste bad. That's just my experience growing up, as I found out.
I believe you that it's not very good.
Yeah, but I don't think it's intended to be a mushy macaroni, which, like, that's overcooked. I think that
this
was...
is like macaroni mixed with ground beef and stuff.
It's very much like a goulash type
like a
deal.
stroganoff kind of, like, you got
Pasta dish with macaroni, but like growing up, I was like, one of the features of the dish is that the macaroni's overcooked. And I think that was just the guy who made it kept overcooking the macaroni.
That sounds like Northern American
American
food.
chop suey.
I mean,
those
yeah.
of you from New Hampshire.
The shit my family ate in Wisconsin is just like
God,
horrific.
bet.
I can't
bet.
even.
Wisconsin's famous for that.
Yeah, we're just gonna
like a bag
put
goulash.
burger meat and ketchup and brown sugar and whatever the fuck else we want on a pot, and we're gonna keep reducing it and adding water until it's a thing.
Sounds good. Put on some buns.
Yeah.
Unreasonably pleasant out there.
Oh, yeah.
Got the smell of vinegar boiling.
Yeah, this is going to just be poured over the cabbage.
Cool. It's a chop, Ryan.
Life is made out of chops, Jeff.
Yeah, but you're actually chopping meat.
I'm stirring.
Yeah. You were chopping
I'm resistant
celery.
to this metaphor, Jeff.
No shit.
I did chop a lot of things.
Yeah, there's that cooking show, Chopped. It's
Yeah.
all about Final Fantasy 12, right?
In a world where all of the knowledge we have of the world is based on an interpretation of Final Fantasy.
I mean, that would be quite a world to live in. I feel like that's what the no one can know about this RPG
That's
game.
kind of what we're creating it.
It would be that.
I mean, that could be the world one day. They just keep pumping out Final Fantasies, and there's enough of them.
Eventually, it will
And
take over
you
society.
Just need. It doesn't even take that long for people to forget that fictional things are not real,
That's
or that
right.
they are real.
It takes around
Wait,
2,000 years. I
takes-
know what you're saying.
They forget that it's not real. And if Final Fantasy survives, then in the future we could have, like, you know, Wars of the Magi and shit. I don't
Oh,
know.
that would be great. Yeah, people who call themselves the Magi because they
Fighting over crystals.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we got some good crumble going on.
Someone just asked, if you donate at the $10 level to the Patreon, you get the t-shirt. Do you ship it to Canada as well? Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Something's got to be done about these international shipping rates.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I just think we let it just cook for as long as it takes.
Oh, yeah. Settled in. Finally.
Ketchup.
Feel it. Feel the settlement.
Feel the settle. Feel the rhyme.
Feel the rhyme?
Bobsled time. Or something.
Is that
Feel
from...
the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
Was that from...
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings? I've never seen it.
What?
I know. We should change that. I know it's like a good one, right? Like people legit like it.
Yeah, it's good. I wish changing it didn't mean that we had to watch Cool Runnings in 2018. But you should see it. Like, I'm glad that I've already seen it. You know?
I feel like I caught part of
You
it
should
at
see
camp
it. It's
once.
a fun kids
you know?
movie where Jamaicans go bobsledding
Yeah,
and John
they-
Candy is there.
Yeah.
There's a joke where one of the Jamaican guys, his name is Yul Brenner, but he doesn't want anyone to for it.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I feel like I would have seen a chunk of that at the same time that I saw Rodney Dangerfield's Ladybugs.
Yeah, probably.
You know?
Yeah. Rodney Dangerfield's Ladybugs.
A whole generation of people know him as that. Maybe not a whole generation.
I do feel like Rodney Dangerfield's a guy where most people know him as one specific thing and not as like
Yeah.
a whole dude who had a career.
Yeah, probably, like, there's people who know him as a stand-up, but probably the majority of people who know him from Caddyshack.
Yeah.
And Ladybugs. And Back to School. And, Chairman of the Broad? Was that him?
I mean, I assume so.
Like, that sounds like a title of a movie that he would have been in. And it would have been his face, like, peeking out behind curtains going, whoa! Like, with that big, like, circular mouth that he can do. Bug eyes.
Well, this is where you're keeping the broads.
Okay, we have to talk about Chairman of the Broad for a minute because I'm about to realize this, but it's not a movie that exists.
Well, yes, it is. We all know that Chairman of the Broad is a movie where Rodney Dangerfield's father, who owns a company, dies.
Right.
And he is going to take it over, right?
Right.
And then replace all of the staff with hot ladies that he's going to harass.
That's exactly the premise
of the
of the
classic Rodney Dangerfield
A
film.
movie that totally
This
exists.
movie, yeah, it doesn't exist.
I don't know that Chairman of the Broad is a thing. It is a movie.
Is it maybe just a stupid joke?
Where have I heard that, though?
Like
Well, because Chairman of the Board is the
from,
classic Carrot Top. You know, because the board in that one was his surfboard.
Yeah. You know, Carrot Top, a surfer.
Okay, I was worried about this. This is telling me about the Chairman of the Broad Foundation. I was
Broad?
afraid I was going to... Yeah. I was afraid of that.
The Broad definitely has a chairman.
Chairman of the Broad.
It's not Broad. It's the Broad. It's a prestigious.
I'm the chairman of the board of the
You
Broad.
gotta make a movie with Rodney Dangerfield, who crowns himself chairman of the Broad.
Right.
And there's the chairman of the Broad, who's like, no, you can't have your name in the phone book as that.
Yeah. Well, my imagination, it was like a movie where some important feminist leader dies, and the only person they can get to replace him, for complicated reasons, is Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah.
And then he shows up and he's like, hey, I'm running things, I'm telling women what to do, and they're not...
up an ill-advised piece of legalese that made me in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I think you suits could stand to loosen your ties a little bit.
And then he winds up learning something about women in the end because he was a misogynist at the beginning. You get it.
It turns out you don't need respect, you just need love.
Is that how Rodney Dangerfield movies go, though? Does he ever...
I don't think he learns a lesson, I don't know.
Or does he just, like, end up with some hot chick?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like it would feign him learning that lesson, but he wouldn't actually learn it, and it would be undercut, and he would just get the girl at the end. Hey, it turned out the people who really needed respect were the women. And then he grabs her and he kisses her.
This is starting to look pretty sloppy.
Oh yeah?
I was worried about the color, but then I just added some more brown sugar and ketchup, and now look at it. It's
Brown sugar and ketchup is
brown.
what gives it the sloppy. You might want more red.
Well, that's what I
it's
mean,
getting-
like a maroon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure you could do it without ketchup, and you could use like canned tomatoes or tomato
Well,
paste.
I think that it's
or-
probably like canned tomatoes plus some tomato paste plus like a little bit of ketchup, whereas this recipe is like compensated all with ketchup.
Yeah, well, I feel like the real sloppy Joe is like, this was a thing that our great-grandmothers did in Poland, and now we do it with ketchup. You know, like, because it's really like a beef stew kind of that
Yeah.
you just are adding stuff to.
Yeah.
I just feel like in Eastern Europe there's a lot of dishes that it's like, oh, that's ground beef and stuff.
So at this point, I think we step out onto the patio. We didn't take the mic with us, but we end up on a conversation about how humanity is doing everything.
Yeah, I often am thinking about, like, if humanity has a purpose, like,
Right.
what is it really?
And it's
kind of like
Every single
Every
thing
single
that
thing
you
has-
could do
has
is
to be
one
done.
of the things that we're trying to do. Humanity's made it clear. We're doing it all.
I know. In fact,
Every side quest.
just thinking that,
Every
that's
main
nice,
quest.
because it makes, whenever I get mad about, like, and their agenda conflicts with mine, I'm like, but we gotta remember, the goal is to do all of it, so
Yeah.
we gotta compromise because...
the human race has to get
We have to do all of it.
on the universe.
Yeah, I never thought about it. If you were like, came to Earth and you were just observing humans and you were like, what is their goal? You would probably come to the conclusion like they're just doing everything.
They're doing
They
it.
try to just do everything they can. That seems to be it.
It's
They
like-
sit around, they have this whole group of people that sit around just to think of new thoughts, and then once they think they have a good one, they write it down, and then sometimes everyone does that thought for a while.
Yeah.
And then the other people, though, it's not like they just switch to that thought and go, oh, you did it. They just keep thinking of new ones.
Right.
Like, it's like, you just...
And then there's some people who, like, they're not doing anything. They're even not doing anything?
Yeah,
They're even doing
manage
that.
to even, yeah, I told you all about the, like, these philosophers or whatever who think of new ways of life or something, and but there's also people who just don't even want a way of life, and they're just doing nothing, and then...
They're everything that you can think of, including nothing, they're trying to do.
There's people who just build buildings, and there's people who only rip buildings down, too. It's like...
Like, aren't they in conflict with each other? It's like, no. They actually work together.
We really are like the liver of animals. We handle a lot of different things.
But we gotta stay here on this planet, at least for now. Because none of those other ones are, like, relaxing.
Yeah, that's it. They're not relaxing.
None of them are relaxing.
You can go there, but it's stressful. You can
Looking
see
good.
the little jalapeno seeds from time to time bubbling up.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
a few. Like it's
Oh, that's
starting to
looking
look
really
like
good.
a, yeah.
I think it needs to reduce. a
Yeah,
lot
that's
more,
the thing.
but,
I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah, let
It'll
it go.
reduce, and then we'll maybe decide should we have more ketchup? Maybe we'll add
Mhm.
some more ketchup and a little water and let it go down one more time.
Because you want it to still hang together a little bit.
Yeah, no, you want it to be thick and.
You want it to
clumpy.
be like a molasses of
Yeah.
sorts.
The video
meat
he was
molasses.
like, he was saying like, now I let it reduce for about half an hour, and he's like, and then I add more water. and then
Okay.
I keep. So that's like
You could just keep doing that?
yeah.
What does it do to it?
It's like a stew. I think the longer you cook, especially fats, like they continue to like emulsify all of the different things, and like it just becomes more and more homogeneous the longer you can keep it cooking. You know, like it all.
Every flavor mixes into every bit of it.
Yeah. I think that's my understanding. I'm not.
Makes enough sense.
Just very nervous about this flap in the front of my.
Afraid your dick's gonna pop out?
Yeah. Well, there's the underwear missing the button in their flap, so it only
shit,
takes
it's a
2
double,
mishaps.
Yeah, no, that's a double.
I want to clarify. I have my pants on.
Yeah, but they're those like pajama pants that has like the
right,
flap.
so
for your
it has
dick.
like the boxer flap, and then behind that I have boxers that are missing the button to the flap. That's
Yeah.
the situation.
He's
so I'm constantly
flying without a net.
just checking to make sure that it doesn't come out.
For an area that's so sensitive too, it's not like I'm aware of my dick ever.
I
Like,
know,
it's
no,
like you don't-
I know. You
You can't tell what
You're
it's
like,
touching.
but I'm
or-
aware when it's capable of being out. Mm-hmm. You can always just turn your underwear around, and then you won't have that problem.
It's like a total nightmare scenario for me, as if you were just out in public, you forgot your pants were unzipped, and your dick is literally just hanging out. And it's like, and a police officer would see you, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know," and he'd be like, "I know, but I'm sorry. Your dick was out, man.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I have to arrest you." Like, your dick was out.
Is that the law?
I know you didn't do anything wrong, like you didn't intend to see anyone to see it, but like part of society is you gotta make sure your dick isn't out.
Well,
it's not
what-
legal to have it out.
What if your dick's out and your house gets set on fire?
I'm sure that would, like,
You run out
nobody
into the-
would prosecute
but there's
that,
gotta
you know?
be-
Like, just
yeah.
nobody would prosecute it.
Right?
Because also the cop, but like, if you're just walking down the street like, I'm ready for my day,
And your dick
and
was
your dick
accidentally
is
out.
hanging out.
I don't think any cop would prosecute. I think
if they
most
saw
cops
you-
would be like,
They could,
you're
though.
selling
It's
hot
like,
dogs or whatever. You know, like your hot dog is literally being sold
That's true, that's true.
in this moment.
I said it was a nightmare scenario,
See, if
just
you-
like of like...
But if you like ran out in a trench coat and there were like a group of girls and you ran up to them and were like, ah, and the cop was like ran up to you and was like, hey, your dick's out, like selling hot dogs, then the cop would be in trouble.
Yeah. I'm just, you know, I'm not saying it's likely to happen. I'm just saying, you know, it would suck.
You seem to think that you're going to have some ability to have like a reasonable conversation with this police officer
Yeah,
that's trying
yeah, I
to
do.
arrest you for having your dick out.
I do.
I'm imagining you're on the farmer's market on Sunday,
Right.
headphones on, you've walked through the whole place for like 20 minutes, dick
Right.
out, cop finds. I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm like, it's a scenario where the cop. Wouldn't you understand a little?
you broke the law literally. What does it matter if he understands or not? That's what I'm saying. Like,
Maybe you're right.
It would suck, yes.
I think it's unfounded. I think it technically could happen. Like, you know, it's not impossible, but it probably wouldn't.
It would have to be a series of sitcom scenarios that leads to you looking like a flasher. Like like there winds up being like some storyline that leads to like some muss in your hair that made you like look even crazier.
I'm just imagining, like, I'm out and I'm standing around and I'm having my coffee, I'm reading my phone. I've been standing there a while, I don't realize my dick is out, nobody's said anything, some mother calls the police, they roll up, I'm still there, my dick is out, and he's like, I got a call, that was minutes ago, you're still here, your dick is still out,
Yeah.
I have to cite you.
And then you would look at the woman and be like, you didn't say anything? You just called the cops. I'm standing here with my dick out, and nobody's willing to say anything.
I really, really want the Curb Your Enthusiasm now where Larry David gets
Yes.
into this scenario and he's being like led into the cop car in handcuffs and he's yelling at like mothers and children, being like, you could have told me my cock was out. Like, like you didn't
You just
say
called the
anything.
cops on me? What
You
kind
were
of
looking. You were looking the whole time. You didn't say anything.
Bum, 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 ba-da-ba-da-ba-da,
Well, it's scary when there's a guy with his dick out. I didn't feel like I should
Did
have.
it look intentional to you?
I should be like, I just didn't know. I didn't know, I didn't like it. And I'm the best kind of right, I'm technically right, that you were on the wrong side of the law, young man.
I mean, if you live in New York City for a year,
Grown,
you're seeing
normal,
it.
aged man. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think in LA it would happen, because, I mean, I've seen people with their dicks out all the time.
Right.
When I lived in Venice, there was this guy who was like the filthiest of the crazy Venice people, and he always wore like he had just like this bikini speedo, like a speedo that was like sort of orange, but like it was so old and so dirty that the cloth was like balling up on it. Like you could see, you know, like when you get an old sweater and it like ball, you know, it was like that but on his underwear.
Oh my
It
god.
was just a bikini, and that's all he ever wore. And he would do this thing where he'd lay in front of the sidewalk cafe. So I would go there often on like a Saturday morning and get a Bloody Mary and just watch this guy. he would lay spread eagle on the ground and had this old baby doll, like a plastic baby doll. That was naked, of course, like dirty trash baby doll.
Yeah.
And he would cover his balls with it, like he would pull the speedo to the side and let his balls hang out. And he would cover them with it, lying on his back. And then when people would walk by, he would go, ah! And take the baby doll off and then put it down and then go, ah! And they just
show them his balls?
I never saw him get arrested or anything. They just let it happen back then. Venice Beach was different back then.
I think my favorite part of this story is that you would go there on the weekends to see this guy.
Well,
that's the way you told it.
I know. Well, I won't lie. I would go there to people watch.
Right.
So, I mean, like, I'm on the
people.
boardwalk, and he's a people that I saw often, and it was usually notable.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Did he ever use any classic lines like, I sat in some gum?
Hey, I just found hidden cabinets. Oh, here's the game room.
Oh! What the fuck is Zingo? Oh, it's bingo with Zing.
But yeah, LA is just, it's like, you see so much fucked up stuff just like driving around.
Yeah.
My favorite move is like the person who's obviously high out of their minds who likes to like get in fights with cars that are stopped and stuff.
Oh, I hate that guy.
When they walk out in the middle,
No.
they're like, oh!
I hate that guy. You don't Well,
like trying to dare you to honk at him so that he'll come like fuck with you, and you're just like, God damn it.
Do you remember
Please
when...
just go back to the side of the road.
I mean, we're doing everything down here on planet Earth.
Yep.
I was at a stoplight, and I was going to turn right, and there was like a guy fucking with the car in front of me.
Yeah.
And then I saw that the light turned green, and I was like, sweet. I'm not going to have an interaction with this guy. And as I go past him, he slams his hand on the side of my car, and his hand was full of peanut butter.
No, I wasn't in the car for this.
I know you weren't in the car for this, but do you remember I had this horrible slide of gross-ass peanut butter all over my passenger side window?
I guess you can get to a point in your life where all you can do is you're like, I'm just gonna fuck with traffic. Like, I'm just like, fuck all of this. And
I was just like, fucking, I was like, what the fuck did he smear on my
I'm
shit?
obviously in a battle with the entire world versus me. Like, bring it on, world. I got a handful of peanut butter.
I'm going to the front.
Yeah, I'm going
Send me to the
lines.
front. Yeah, that was not fun. And then I like waited for it to dry to clean it off. It was there for like a week on my passenger side.
You're like, well, I don't use that side of the car.
I was just like, I don't want to touch whatever. I want to let whatever bacteria is on it die or eat it. I don't know what
in
happens.
case it's not peanut butter.
Like I don't want to know what that peanut butter might be mixed with. One thing I think is going to be true more of this season is we're going to have a lot more dead air.
Yeah.
That we're going to be able to just like actually click past
for sure.
as well as. But I was thinking, like, even if it's 100 hours, if we could get through 7 hours of it a day,
Yeah.
it's still only going to be like 3 or 4 weeks of watching.
Yeah, we'll get through it. I'm not worried about it.
It wound up being more like 115 hours of recordings.
I could not believe that at this stage of playing the game, you were already contemplating the terrible task of like rewatching it all immediately
Like,
after finishing. I'm
You
sitting
know,
there.
we'll watch it at double speed and
Yeah, you're sitting there like fantasizing about it, and I'm stirring ground beef, going like, "We haven't even bred chocobos yet, man." Like,
Oh, that's some sloppy Joe.
Yeah. A little bit longer, but then I think it's going to be perfect.
Yes.
But yeah, now we've got that. I know what reducing it again must do, because it's like you really want all of the fat in any of the anything to like come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of the fat in the beef is like in the, it's like you get that nice sheen, the grease, the red.
But I want it to be
ketchup-y.
a sludge at the end.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want it watery.
Oh no, not at all. But like you want
Sludge of meat.
all of that red ketchup-y grease to do its magic. I was gonna drink some coffee. Yeah, I used to make my dog eat broccoli. Because, you know, she would come up begging at the table and I would hand her broccoli and she wouldn't want it. But if you held it out long enough, she would, like, gingerly take it. And if you kept looking... Because if you looked away, she would go put it somewhere and come back. But if you kept looking at her, she would just, like...
like
start chewing it and then, like, eat it. And then be like,
it's
okay, I
food that they
ate
gave
it,
me,
thank
they
you.
want me to-
I would also give her actual treats. I wasn't just cruelly
I know,
tormenting
yeah, I
my dog.
figured.
Let's make lasagna out of this.
Sloppy Joe lasagna? Could be good.
with American cheese.
Shut up. It's not that far from, like, a meat sauce. Like,
Not actually. It's kind of actually exactly what it is.
you don't have to change the cheese.
You normally wouldn't use ketchup in lasagna, but...
Somebody has. I wonder if this look right now is her just going like, I'm so happy.
Guys,
Look at our
I
life.
could cry.
Look at our life. Look at our fucking life.
Look at it. Look at our life.
Look at our life.
Like, I sent a group text because my family was like, what's everyone up to? And I was like, oh, we're in Lake Arrowhead to play Final Fantasy VII. And she was like, why? My mom just sent back, why, question mark. For fun?
Why? A reasonable question. To create the environment for playing it too far into the night.
Yeah. To really, like...
To find a little bit of solitude so that we don't get interrupted by the world when we're on this important journey.
So we can learn our marching moves and then fuck them up completely.
Dude, that was insane.
That's something I love, that I appreciate about this game, is it's like gonna ask you to do this dumb bullshit, but part of why it does it almost is it expects you to fuck it up because it's funnier that way.
Ooh, yeah.
That last reduction was a good idea, right? Like,
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
much redder.
I think it might need to reduce even
It
more.
does. It's not ready yet.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's getting there.
It's starting to look like Sloppy Joe
Yes.
filling.
Yeah, if you put that into a pastry or something, I mean, we're gonna put it on a bun.
You could make
put
some
it into a
pierogies.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go get
Hey.
some firewood.
Yeah, do that.
Maybe a little bit longer, but...
Some slow cooking sloppy Joe, that's for sure. Oh god, it's gonna be really good.
It's really close.
It's getting really close. It is finally getting close. I can't bring myself to say the words that popped in my head.
Okay. You're really not going to say them?
I mean, I can't say that and as just like, now that I've said that, I'm like, well, that's just a shitty move.
Oh, okay.
To like be like, I'm not gonna say this thing, and then like force you to ask me, and like, well, you know what? Just don't say it. It's so dumb.
Hey, if you're just not gonna say it, I respect that too. I totally do. But
It was. Are we in a Jack Nicholson movie? Because this is as good as it gets.
I'm glad you said it.
I'm not.
I'm also not now. In the moment, I just didn't care,
Like,
but...
that's extremely embarrassingly stupid.
No, I thought it was pretty good, actually. Because you just say it with the self-awareness that you're saying something. You just go, "Hey."
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta do a little. Eh?
Instead, I had to hedge
Do
it
the
even
move.
further.
Do the
by being
move
like,
where you're not sure if they got to. You go like, eh?
Yeah.
Press.
Did you understand
Yeah.
the reference? Yeah. Yeah, that's better than being like, I can't say what I just thought.
I also liked that move too, to be honest. There's a couple ways in.
Yeah,
Like, what if you dragged out that "no, I can't say it" thing
Yeah.
for way longer to really like
for
get someone to be
years?
like, "Come on."
years and years.
No,
of
just like a little, like, come on, tell us. You're like, no, I just can't. And, you know, like bring him to the edge, bring him
then-
back, and then
and then-
finally do it.
And then
it's
finally,
like,
after all this build up,
Yeah, you have to take a moment that's good and awesome and like drive home this I'm not going to tell you to the point where the moment is ruined and everyone is mad at you and it's a bad time, and then you go like, I mean, is this a Jack Nicholson movie? Because this is as good as it gets, and everyone is just like, fuck you!
are we in a Jack Nicholson movie?
this is as good as it gets. And everyone be like, why did you waste her?
Why did
That's
you
so
do
long.
that to us? Have you tested it
No.
to see if maybe
Seems like it's gonna be
some
way
salt
too
and-
hot to taste. I don't know how to. You should give it a try.
Yeah,
You test it.
all right. Just takes a little patience. Take a little spoon.
I knew there was something I was forgetting that it takes.
You get it on the spoon, right? And
Yeah.
you take it over here, and you stand with it.
Away from the heat.
Away from the heat. You just stand like over the sink so it doesn't like fall on the floor, because then it's too hot for the dog to vacuum it up. You blow it on once in a while.
This is the kind of YouTube instructional video that I would totally start watching and go, why am I watching this? And I would watch the whole thing.
And then like halfway through you're like, I'm 15 minutes into a 40-minute video?
I like to blow on it sometimes. I'm not sure how much it helps, but it makes me feel better.
No, it's perfect. Oh my god. That's fucking amazing.
I'm excited because
Oh man, holy shit.
the idea that browned ground beef can make someone do that.
Oh man. I like what we're into. Oh, yeah, you're gonna approve. It's got a kick to it.
Yeah, I put in like half of a jalapeno.
I think you did a lot of good work with that.
Okay, good.
You got the right amount of brown sugar too.
Good. Yeah, I didn't add too much more of that because I figured the ketchup was going to be sweet also.
Oh
I
man.
added almost all the ketchup.
Oh my god. It's gonna be delicious.
Oh yeah, now we're getting that like brown sauce. It's becoming mostly just grease instead of water. Now I'm just gonna
Cheese it up.
Yeah. Add some cheese. Gonna throw some of this on there. Oh, I missed. Come on. Just go on. Just go. There we go. This is gonna be sloppy, alright.
Yeah, it does look sloppy.
Oh my god. That is amazing.
Alright, sloppy. Why is it so good? Oh, perfect. We made sloppy joes right when we ran out of paper towel. Let's go outside. That is exactly how I wanted it to taste.
Yeah, that's a food they don't serve in restaurants.
Why the fuck not?
Eating is
Quote-unquote
just
crapping.
too...
Oh. There's places that
I'm sure there's
give
places
you
that have
fucking
them.
bibs.
Yeah, you're wearing a bib for your sloppy Joe.
I want to go to the restaurant that has bibs and sloppy joes. Like they give you like a lobster bib, and then they bring you like a white
burger.
plate with in the very middle of it is a sloppy joe with a fork and knife, and you just like go to town with that like hunched over sort of like gluttony pose. You know
Yes,
they do in
yeah,
movies where
right.
you eat with your elbows
with
like
your
in
elbows
the air.
above your head.
Yeah, exactly, and you just go for it.
I was about to say, like, why don't people make this more often? But then I remember, like, you put brown sugar in your beef.
I mean, it wasn't a small amount of work, and it's so profoundly bad for you.
Right.
But for like a lot of today's standards, like you're gonna put that amount of time into a meal, and then you're gonna eat a sloppy Joe. You know, it's like
I hope
like
that
you could-
pendulum swings back.
could eat something with truffle oil. Oh, it will. It's always.
Yeah, why have a sloppy Joe when you can drown yourself in truffle oil? Which is like imitation truffle oil.
I mean, I bet there's never gonna be like sloppy Joes that come in like Blue Apron because you're gonna brown hamburger meat for a couple hours. It is remarkably good. I'd love to bust this out at a party sometime.
Haley, I dropped some cheese. Whenever the meat at Taco Bell comes up, I'm always reminded of something that my high school science teacher told me. Mm-hmm. We're told to class because he thought it was like a public service announcement. I guess this kid got a job working at Taco Bell or something and saw the package and like, you know how like, see a lot of things like grade A beef around? And he was like, oh, it says on the package grade E.
Yeah, like a grade that you go like, should they have that grade?
Should they have that grade?
Should it go that?
And he was like, so just so you all know, that's what's going on over there. But that can't possibly be true of Del Taco.
It's so sweet.
That's why it's so
I
good.
know. It's like candy beef,
Sweet meat.
candy beef, candy
Candy
bacon.
It's been a day of candy meat.
What should we candy next? Candy bangers.
God. Can you candy a sausage?
I just do what I did to the bacon. I just coat that shit in maple
and fry it up.
syrup and grease and let it. You know what you probably don't want to candy is chicken.
I feel like there's some sweet sauces that you wind up putting chicken
Yeah. I guess orange chicken is kind of like candied chicken.
in. That's exactly what it is.
Because I mean, that's like a legit crust around that. That's like often it'll be like this is a shell of orangey sugar.
You know, it's like the size of a candy. You pop it in your mouth. Alright, she's pooped, she's peed. I'm gonna pee, and then we're gonna get started.
Yeah, chill out, Haley.
She'll calm down. She's just so excited. She's like, I pooped, I peed. We're getting back into it. The day is great.
She's like, oh my
Everything is
god, we're gonna see
wonderful.
what happens next.
I ate some fucking sloppy Joe, and now we're gonna see what happens next to Cloud and the gang.
Oh yeah, it's Goofy. We snuck onto a ship time.
And that's episode 11 of season 4.
We ate lunch.
I hope you guys had fun. A lot of game happened.
Yeah, if you want to make sloppy joes, it takes all fucking day.
But it's so good.
It's really good.
It's totally worth it. But it's
not all
definitely
day, 2 hours.
Yeah,
maybe.
it took a while. I mean, it's a dish that you make for a large group of people.
Yeah,
you don't make sloppy joes for one.
This isn't a cuisine really. This is like bulk food for campers.
Yes, or like an army.
Yeah.
Oh, before we go, should we enter the live stream?
Yeah. Do we have a message this week?
Oh, it doesn't look like we do. Actually, let's not go into the live stream this week.
Well, I guess we'll just save our pent-up spiritual energy for the next time we have a message.
Yeah, I can't wait to go in.
But if you do want to buy a live stream message...
Yeah, if you want us to read something, anything that you want us to read, just get in touch at nocatpodcast@gmail.com. That's NOCKAT. And we'll read whatever message you'd like.
Yeah, it's $25. It can be business or personal or esoteric or whatever other label you want to put on it.
Yeah, and with that, please rate and review us on iTunes and Apple Podcasts or whatever.
Yeah, drop by our Patreon at
patreon.com/nocat. That's NOCKAT. You can get in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter at NoCat Podcast, and go check out our Etsy page if you want mugs or t-shirts. That's Etsy.com, and search No One Can Know About This or NoCat. You should be able to find it.
And this week I'm going to try something different. Go tell an enemy about the show.
Oh man, I hope write in with your stories of what happened when you told your enemy about this show. Maybe it'll become a friendship. You know?
Exactly. That's the goal.
Yes.
That's why I instructed you to do that.
Right. So with that, let's do a little No One Can Know About This dessert. What's the dessert after the end of this sloppy Joe?
Just a bucket of Skittles, Jeff. That you can stick your hand in. It's a community bucket. It's always full, and you just eat Skittles while you play video games.
It's food for groups here today on the No Cap Podcast. So enjoy that dessert.
Okay, audience, we need you to weigh in on this because somehow he and I have opposing understandings of pigs in a blanket.
I think it's that I'm like, hot dogs are not for breakfast, and it's a hot dog and a thing. It's not a sausage.
It's not a hot dog. It's a sausage.
It's a hot dog.
It's a little sausage. It's not a hot dog.
It's a mini hot dog.
It's not a hot dog. It's a sausage.